Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans 1977. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It is time for the NXT Event Center from events from the NXT Wrestling Show on the CW Network, plus matches from NXT Level Up. And now, here's the host of the show, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977, episode 1771 of the show. It is October the 28th, 2024, 2:56 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. I got my outfit ready to go to do my Halloween special this Thursday and on Rant and Rave. Let's just say that you better pay up. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. But however, though, we're going to have some fun today. We're going to talk about what happened last night on Halloween Havoc. As you know, Halloween Havoc, it was last night. Big things happening in wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. And always big things happening. As you know, this coming Saturday, Crown Jewel. In November, ladies and gentlemen, that's right, November will be coming this weekend, as we are going to be doing the Final Flash game shows for November, but for October, excuse me. Actually, the final after this episode, it will be the final Martindale Monday for October. Yeah, tomorrow will be the final Trebek Tuesday, the final Wild Wednesday, and the final Network Throwdown Thursday. Got a lot of videos to do, actually, and we're going to have a little bit of fun there. So we're going to do this. We are going to do this. We're going to have some fun and do some battles and everything else in between. So, let's talk. Let's talk some NXT Halloween Havoc, WWE Halloween Havoc. As you know, Gigi Dolan is back to host, to kind of kick things off and kind of have a narration. She looks very gorgeous, as usual. Zachary Wentz, my salute is to you, sir, for snagging her. And at one point, and I gotta tell you, it's been a minute, of course, since we saw the lovely redhead, former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, and Halloween Havoc, as you know, only five matches. 5 matches only total. And I did pretty good. With this one. The North American title on the line in a tables, ladders, and scares matchup, but Tony D'Angelo prefers pinning his opponent instead of trying to climb the ladder and capturing the title. So, and Obafemi thought he took every member of the family out, and they all thought, now, I thought that Nikita Lyons was going to get involved in this, because there's some evidence that's pointing Nikita Lyons was the assailant who attacked Adriana Rizzo. It seems like Adriana Rizzo kind of knew who it was and will confront her this tomorrow night on NXT. But was it Nikita Lyons, or was it somebody else? Or could be Obafemi giving Nikita Lyons her fur jacket, her fur coat, a red herring? That's another thing I forgot to do, I forgot to consider. It could be a red herring, thinking that it could be Nikita Lyons. Who knows what would happen? Maybe Adriana Rizzo knows. Everybody probably knows, but who knows? We'll find out, actually, tomorrow night who exactly it was that attacked Adriana Rizzo. But the family gets involved during the matchup. Obafemi fights them off, but in the end, Tony D'Angelo retains the men's North American title. Now, Sarah Schreiber was interviewing Lexis King, saying can't find anybody to call him in. He's considering calling off the matchup. But William Regal, making a surprise appearance, saying, "Hey, my good friend, I will be in your corner." And you know what? He respects the fact that Alexis King is trying to make a name for himself, not off his father. He says, "I known your father," So this is going to be the irony. So tomorrow night on NXT, the NXT Heritage Cup will be on the line. Charlie Dempsey, who is William Regal's real-life son, defends that Heritage Cup against Lexis King. This could be something interesting. We'll find out tomorrow night. The next matchup, which I thought would be the main event, Julia and Stephanie Vaquer went up against Cora Jade and the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. Heck of a matchup between these two young ladies, but in the end, these two teams, in the end, Julia and Stephanie Vaquer won the matchup. But Bubba Ray Dudley and Dave LaGreca, who has been reporting also throughout the night, Bubba Ray Dudley said this, and this is, this could be like the New Age version of the Four Horsewomen, like the 2020s version of the Four Horsewomen. If you think about it, the Four Horsewomen was Bayley, Sasha Banks, a.k.a. Mercedes Moné, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. Bubba Ray Dudley said these four ladies that you mentioned, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, Julia, and Stephanie Vaquer, could be the newest version of that Four Horsewomen. Can we see one day Mercedes Moné coming back to WWE, reuniting with the Four Horsewomen? Survivor Series down the road, maybe? Who knows? But who knows? And, Mercedes Moné better realize that the WWE has changed since Vince McMahon left. So, if I were her, I'd be reconsidering my options. But not a bagatelle, so to speak. So, anyways, but then the lights went out as Julia and Stephanie Vaquer did celebrate, and Zarya arrives and kind of surveying the landscape. I was like, okay. It looks like with her in there, the NXT Women's Division is really leveling up. So, be aware of that one. So, in the skybox seats, that's where she was. Cedric Alexander was talking to Javon Evans as he know they have an opportunity to become NXT Tag Team Champions. That matchup will happen tomorrow night. And Javon did apologize for losing his head. And, Cedric says, I've been there. I know what it's like. So, it's great to see Cedric Alexander taking Javon Evans under his wing. We'll see what happens. And so Dave LaGreca and Bubba Ray Dudley talk about Halloween Havoc. And as you know, earlier in the kickoff, on the countdown, Ridge Holland rudely interrupted Bubba Ray Dudley and Dave LaGreca. So, and so that was once he did that. But much more on that. Ambulance match between Andre Chase and Ridge Holland. Heck of a matchup. And Ridge Holland ended up winning that matchup. Axiom and Nathan Frazier, while Nathan Frazier was training in the ring, they were talking about the title match on Tuesday, tomorrow night. And a little bit of a heated discussion between the two, but they got to get it together because tomorrow night they have to defend those tag team titles against the team of Cedric Alexander and Javon Evans. So we'll see how that matchup. Sarah Strider was interviewing Ava, and Ava announces a hardcore match for the November 6th NXT 2300. As you know, the 2300 in Philadelphia, that was the old ECW arena. It's called now the 2300 Arena. She announced one of the matches on the card. She's trying to get the card together. One of the matches is Jada Parker and Lola Vice in a hardcore matchup, and the special guest referee, ECW legend Dawn Marie. That is huge because we haven't seen Dawn Marie in about 20 years in the WWE. On the last time she was in the WWE, possibly, 2004 maybe. That's 20 years ago when she was last seen with Tori Wilson in that little feud over Tori Wilson's dad at the time. God rest the soul of Al Wilson. So the Women's North American title was on the line, and Fatal Influence decided it would be a gauntlet match. Fallon Henley volunteered to be in the matchup, but here's the deal. She said she decided on the gauntlet match. Jasmine Nix goes first, JC Jane goes second, and Fallon Henley goes last. So, Keilani Jordan did pick up the first two victories against Jasmine, against Nix and Lane. Lane, JC Jane, excuse me. Why did I say Lane? Anyways. And then Fountain Henley gave her a little bit of a problem. Nix and Jane decided to get involved in the matchup, and then Fallon Henley took advantage of that and ended up becoming the new NXT Women's North American Champion, the second one. So Fallon Henley worked hard, though, in all actuality. She worked hard, toiled in the indies for a long time. It's good to see her as a champion. Keilani Jordan says, she tweeted out next not too long ago, listen, I had a great run as becoming the first ever Women's North American Champion. It's not, I'm just going up from here. And a lot of people are congratulating her and killing it. In fact, between Fallon Henley and Keilani Jordan, they both got praise from WWE legend Melina. All right, Melina pointed out something that was very, very important, and she says, "Who are the two girls? Wonderful." I tweeted her. I said, "Listen, that's Keilani Jordan, Fallon Henley." I explained to her the situation. That was a North American title, Women's North American Championship, and remember, she's a former guest on Rant and Rave podcast, mind you. Now, that's something I will never forget. So, Melina gave both women praise. That's a good endorsement, and I hope Fallon Henley and Keilani Jordan sees that, and we all let them know. We all let them know. Me and a few people let them know. Hey, you're getting praise from Melina, a diva, a former 5-time women's champ, 3-time women's champ, 2-time divas champ. A legend, a Divas legend in the WWE. That's huge. That's a huge compliment for these two young ladies. And I'll tell you one thing right now. You know what? I think and that tells me the women's division in NXT is gonna be great. When two women get praise from a diva legend like Melina, hey, listen, that just solidifies how good the women's division is. You're talking about, like you said, you're talking about Roxanne Perez. Cora J, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, now Zarya just entered the mix. A little bit more about her. And you got, So Ruka's been stepping up her game. Wendy Chu's been stepping up her game. Now Keilani Jordan, Fallon Henley, Fatal Influence. Nikita Lyons is back. Jada Parker stepping up her game. Lola Vice stepping up her game. And when Gigi Dolan comes back and steps up her game, that is going to be a huge deal. And if Jordan Grace's contract when TNA expires and goes to NXT, you're talking about, if that's the case. I don't know what the situation with Jordan Grace is now, but I'll tell you one thing right now. If that's the case, if her contract is up and couldn't get renegotiate a deal, hey, and if she decided, well, I'm going to sign with the WWE. Remember, a lot of people like her in the WWE. So this is a huge deal. So if that's the case, you're talking about the NXT, the women's division, I'll tell you what, across the board, I think the women's division is going to be kicking up, especially NXT. It's going to kick it up huge. Regardless of whether or not Jordan Grace signs with NXT or not, doesn't matter. I don't know if that's the deal. I don't know what's going on. I'm taking everything I say with a grain of salt on that one as far as Jordan Grace is concerned. She lost the Knockouts title to Masha Slamovich this past Saturday. So that's a huge deal. We'll see what happens, and we'll all know what her contract, Jordan Grace's contract situation with TNA actually is. So that could be, I've always jumped to conclusions. I do apologize for that, but who knows for sure. So Henley decided to address the Hershey crowd, saying, "Statement made." Lights went out, and they were interrupted. Zarya again decided to show up, but this time she was right in the ring behind them, and she took out all 3 members of Fatal Influence. I'm telling you right now, if that's the case, I'm telling you, like I said, going back what I just said about the NXT Women's Division, really going to kick it up a notch. But now, with Zarya in the mix, the NXT Women's Division is going to be a barn burner. Watch out, I think the ladies are going to get, I'll tell you what, the final Tuesday before Halloween Havoc, 26 women were featured. That's how good the NXT Women's Division is. You get everybody on there. They're stepping up. Like I said, they're stepping up their game. In fact, a little bit more in that situation. Sarah Schreiber interviewed the D'Angelo family. And again, Adriana Rizzo. We got to talk about her. She's stepping up her game. And they were celebrating Tony D'Angelo's title retainment. over Obafemi, and Adriana Rizzo. I know who did it. I'm going to confront her and kick her butt. And basically, that's going to happen. I'll tell you again, Adriana Rizzo, another one. And if Nikita Lyons actually turns heel, I'm telling you, that's going to keep her, get her stock up, ready to go, ready to rock. And I'll tell you, of the NXT Women's Division, I'm telling you right now, not only they got beauty, they got great skills, great wrestling skills, and I'm telling you, the NXT Women's Division is at an all-time high right now since, I don't know, late 2010s. You know, we had Asuka, Kairi Sane coming in, Io Sky. You know, we had Toni Storm at one. NXT had Toni Storm at one point. I'm telling you, you know, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler. I'm telling you, there's probably a new crop of women's talent there. Unbelievable. I'm telling you. So Dave LaGreca and Bubba Ray Dudley again talk about the show. Ridge Holland interrupts him again, but Bubba Ray said it's twice he did that. And I'm going, Bubba Ray and Ridge Holland? Well, sign me up for that matchup. And so Sarah Schreiber once again was interviewing Ava, and Tatum Paxley was in the crate that was part of the Halloween Havoc set design. He said, we're going to get you checked out and all that. And she goes, Tatum Paxley, I want Wendy Chu. And she spun the wheel and said, I want her in a casket match. And then Ava's like, well, okay. You against Wendy Chu in a casket match. And I do believe that this will be the first women's casket match in WWE history. You know, and possibly the second casket match that does not involve The Undertaker. I'm trying to remember, you know, there were 3 casket matches that never involved The Undertaker. One, it was Triple H versus Viscera and Mideon in a handicap casket match. The Undertaker was supposed to be part of that match, but he refuses to. Plus, I think he had an injury at the time and was unable to compete. So he was, and so that's why was the behind the scenes. That's why he had Viscera and Mideon fill in for him. That's one, and then the second one was a few years ago when Apollo Crews took on Grayson Waller, and now this is the third casket match, not involving The Undertaker, but the first women's casket match in WWE history. Bear that in mind. That's tomorrow. You're talking about pre-Halloween? That's tomorrow. The first ever women's casket match in WWE history. That's something we should consider looking out for. So that's the matchup. And finally, the Devil's Playground matchup means basically anything goes, like a street fight match for the NXT title. Trick Williams versus Ethan Page. And Ethan Page, I'll tell you what, Trick Williams, well, did whatever it took. Low blow. A low blow. Ends up hit the trick knee. 1, 2, 3. Trick Williams retains the title. But Ridge Holland came out again, attacking Trick Williams this time around, and Ethan Page got into his face a couple times. He didn't want to do it. You do it right. And looks like he decided to be complicit in this. But then Bubba Ray Dudley, fed up with Ridge Holland's antics, helps out Trick Williams. Will this lead to a matchup at the old ECW arena in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? That's going to be an interesting deal. So, that is all the time we have on the show. Episode 1771 of the show complete. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in for another episode. Next up, the final Martindale Monday of October, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight, also, Monday Night Raw. Also, later on, 5 o'clock on the Mr. Garrison 96 channel here on YouTube, Bofas and the Sofas. What more antics do our Bofa gentlemen will come up with next? Well, join Gary, Romy, and the Putnam Brothers, Alex and Austin, for some more hijinks, shenanigans, and tomfoolery on Bofas and the Sofas. At 5 o'clock on the Mr. Garrison 96 channel here on YouTube. So, I'll see you. I'll see you in the next episode, though, folks, of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. Until then, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, doing for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.